evening, Sunita. Good evening, Snalini. Everyone, please say it 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good evening to everyone. Since we didn't meet yesterday, I would like to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving weekend. Um, today too, before we begin, I would like to sincerely wish, may this session also help you develop develop in your Dhamma practice, and then may you be able to keep at least one step ahead in your Dhamma path. With that wish, we are going to begin. Right? Thanksgiving is a very important thing, right, in anybody's life. So even the Buddha, so when Buddha became enlightened under a bo tree, right? So have you seen the bo tree? The bo tree which is at the back of our temple. So when Buddha became enlightened under the bo tree, the very first thing that Buddha did was so gazing at the bo tree, right? So continuously, so and spending 7 weeks under the bo tree, so to show Buddha's gratitude towards the bo tree. So the Dhamma practice, in the Dhamma practice, practicing gratitude, thankfulness is a very important factor. You have to keep that in mind. So Buddha showed it, proved it to us. Buddha taught it to us with his own example. Right. So that's a very important thing to practice. Then, whenever someone does something for you, you have to understand that this person has spent um, a particular amount of one's own human time, precious human time, for the well-being of mind. I already told you that the human life is very, very precious. So if we live 100 years, 50 years we sleep. We actually live 50 years, right? So then we have to spend time, we have to spend time for you. So young age, and then after that old age, and then when you cut down that time, right, the time that you stay healthy, right, is a very limited time. Whenever someone does something for you, that person is dedicating a particular amount of that precious time from one's life. So we have to be very grateful. But sometimes there are certain people who don't think about that. Not only there are certain people, not only they take your help, but later on they turn so they turn their back even to the person who helped them, right? And they become ungrateful. And there are certain incidents that I heard at workplaces. So earlier, when that co-worker came, the senior co-worker helped that particular co-worker, and then later on, this co-worker was so schemy. So what he or she did was so that person backbited against the person who helped, and finally some kind of a bad thing happened to the person who had a, kind heart, right? So these kinds of things happen. Then uh, there are such kind of people who turn things sour to us. There is one poet called Wael Jasser in Saudi Arabia. He says, so Garib alnes, Garib al dunya diye, Mafi shakhsas. Do you know Arabic? Yeah.
We have some common words.
Oh, right.
Dunya means like the world. Like
I know. Nas, not Nas, maybe Dunya is, yes, it's common in Hindi.
Oh, in Hindi.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. And Urdu. And
Garib means strange, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Garib?
Garib means, so one word is poor, one, but in Arabic it's cruel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. But Hindi it's poor. Right. So Garib alnas, Garib al dunya diye. As illness, so beat gara laiye. Mafi shakhsis, mafishwala sikradiye. So kilisna kalas, anamashiv geblafiye. Laukanta montakor, lium hiluaishne, fikidema ulya setr, defishke mefil hai. What it means is, Garib alness. Sometimes the world is cruel to us. Garib al dunya diye. Right? So let me go with the English translation. So the world is cruel to us. Sometimes we do good things for the other people. But the world, in return, the people who got your help, they turn things sour to us. I did my thing and I leave. So it is up to those people to show their gratitude or not to show their gratitude. Right? So what we should do is, so we have, whenever someone did something for us, instead of, even though we don't show our gratitude towards them, at least we should not turn things sour for them, right? But I know you are good meditators, so you won't do such kind of things. We always should practice gratitude towards the others. Buddha said, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha are things that we have to be grateful, right? Buddha, so since he is the one who rediscovered the noble truth about things, non-sectarian truth about things, so we have to be grateful. And then dharma means the teaching. Dharma is not a person, but that's the truth about things. So we have to be grateful towards it, right? We should show respect. And Sangha means all those great teachers who practiced Dharma and attained the enlightenment and then started teaching out of compassion towards the others, right? And then parents, they are another group that we need to show our gratitude. And then after that, our teachers. So they are also a group of people that we need to show our gratitude. And the other people, also friends, and the others, they also come, include in the category. So whoever, even though someone did a small thing for us, we should have gratitude for that person. Once, one Brahmin, so he was around 100 years old. His name was Radha. He wanted to get ordination, but by that time he was 100 years old. And there were many monks, many Bantes didn't like to ordain him as their student, because generally the students take care of the teachers. But here it is going to be the opposite. The teacher has to take care of the student because he is 100 years old. At that time, the Buddha said, okay, then if there is anyone who got at least a small help, right, from this person, this is the time to show your gratitude. At that time, Bhaddasariputta came forward and said, this Radha, he donated me 1 spoon of rice, so at one occasion. So because of that, I'm going to make him my student, right? So like that, so we have to keep in mind. See, Bhaddasariputta kept that in mind for a long period of time. And then what he did was he he showed his gratitude by ordaining one, so that old Brahmin Radha. Right? Then at the same time, Buddha says, Katanyuta etang mangala muttama. If someone has gratitude, that's a blessing. That very quality is a blessing for that person who has it, right? So therefore, in this Thanksgiving week, I encourage you to practice gratitude towards anybody who helped you, right? Spending their precious human time. Okay. Then during these days, we are practicing loving kindness meditation. So all students, they are practicing the first method of loving kindness meditation, and today will be the last day that we practice the first method of loving kindness meditation. And starting from the next week, I'm going to teach you the second method of loving kindness meditation. Right? Hope now you remember the lines, right? So did you memorize them? Very nice, very nice. So please practice loving kindness meditation using those lines, right? So you have to begin with, may I be free from anger and hatred. Can you remember, Mosia? Oh, right, very nice. I'm glad about it. So then, may I be free from ill will and jealousy, right? Very nice. Yes. Right. May I be free from mental suffering. May I be free from physical suffering, right? Then after that, may I develop with love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace, right? Then after that, Mrs. Tu, can you remember? Next one, may I B, may I feel comfort and ease, right? And finally, may I attain real peace, Nibbana. Right? Then after that, please spread it to your parents. So when you do this method, you have to take all those groups separately. But if you are newcomer, or if you couldn't come for a long time, then you can practice the basic one. Um, then what you have to do is, after sharing loving kindness with yourself, thinking, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, then spread it to the group, the whole group. I mean, so whole group means the close group. Parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. So then, if you're a newcomer or if you came recently, right, then you can practice thinking, so may my parents, may my teachers, may my relatives and friends be well, be happy, be peaceful, right? Then after that, please spread your loving kindness towards the neutral people, right? The neutral people. And then after that, please spread your loving kindness towards the enemies. And finally, please calmly spread your loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. Not only human beings, not only animals, all the beings in the world. A lot of loving kindness and compassion, right? So if you're a newcomer, then please practice the short one. If you are an old student, so please practice the first method of, first method, the first long version of loving kindness meditation. Whatever the meditation practice that you choose, whatever whether you choose the short version or the long version, it doesn't matter. I sincerely wish you the success, right? Okay. Now, everyone, please keep your back straight, neck straight, and head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm and let your whole body to relax. Let your whole body to relax from top to bottom, bottom to top. First, I will, on behalf of all of us, so I will pay my respect and gratitude towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha with 3 short stanzas. And after that, let's begin the silent meditation. Calm down and concentrate. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Itimiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vinyacharane sampanno sugato lokamido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Sata deva manusanang buddho bhagavati swakato bhagavata dhammo sangnittiko akaliko ehi passiko panayiko machatang veditamo vinyuhiti Supanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujumanipangno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipangno bhagavato savaka sangho Samichi panipangno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadinang chattari purisa yugani atte purisa puggalam ese bhagavato savaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo nakineyo anjali karaniyo Anutterang punyakhetang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with an alert, very attentive mind, with a mind full of loving kindness and compassion, as well as patience. Everyone, please start your meditation. If you are a newcomer, then please practice the short version of loving kindness meditation. If you are an old student, please practice the first long version, the first method of loving kindness meditation. Whatever the meditation practice technique that you choose, regardless of that, I sincerely wish you to be very, very successful. Everyone, please start your meditation practice right now. Yeah, yeah. Can you check? Yeah. Bhavettu Sabbe Mangalam Rakhantu Sampe Devatam Samme Buddhanubhavini Samme Dhammanubhavini Samme Sanghanubhavini Sada Sutti Bhavantu Te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now everyone, please calmly open your eyes. Let your whole body to relax from top to bottom and bottom to top. Now please join your palms together and say 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, hope you had a very good meditation session. Your first time, right? What is your name? Kate, right? Welcome to the program. So, hope all of you could practice loving kindness and feel that sense of loving kindness, right? So, when we really feel the emotion of loving kindness, so it completely soothes our mind and body, right? It completely soothes our mind and body, right? So that is the real feeling of loving kindness, right? And if you generate that one, then using that one, you can spread it towards the other people, and at the same time, when you have it, the other people can sense it too, right? That deep feeling. And at the same time, as I always mention, you have to bring this out of cushion. You have to bring this out of cushion. Whenever we have negative emotions like anger, hatred, such kind of thoughts inside, so it is just like keeping some kind of a rotten thing with it. So even though the other people cannot see that you have it inside, when you are behaving in the outside world, they can notice it, right? Once uh, in one kindergarten classroom, the teacher wanted to teach the kids about the value of loving kindness and the value of not getting angry, right? Then what she did was, so one day when all the children came to the classroom on Monday, so she gave everyone a very nice tomato. And then after that, she asked all those students to keep that beautiful tomato at a particular place in the classroom. And then every day, she asked them to touch it, take and see it, right? After several days, what happened was the tomatoes became rotten. When the tomatoes became rotten, the teacher asked them to touch those rotten tomatoes. Then they said, no, they are stinky and they are not nice now. So we don't want to touch them. Then the teacher said, so your anger and all other kinds of negative emotions, they are the same, right? When you have, they are just like these rotten tomatoes, right? So when the tomatoes are rotten, you don't like to touch them. Just like that, when you have such kind of negative emotions within, so the other people get affected. They don't like to. They don't feel happy associating you. But if your thoughts are just like those fresh tomatoes, right? So if it is full of loving kindness, then everybody will like you. So just be the fresh tomato, not the rotten tomatoes, right? So that's very important. And the kids understood. So then please practice this loving kindness meditation daily at home, at least 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. It is then, yeah, so gradually it will grow like a tree inside, right? And all the other people in your outside world, they'll be able to enjoy the good, nice, fresh fruits of your loving kindness later on. So grow the tree with it. Okay. Then it is the time for you to take the small break. If you want to go to the bathroom or if you want to drink water, so you can take this small break. Then after that, so today we are going to discuss for about 30 minutes, we are going to discuss about a very important perfection, the determination. So brace yourself. If you don't want to drink water or go to the bathroom, so please stay inside. Okay? බුද්ධිනියක් අර රතු පාර්මේ එකක් තියෙනවා කේට්ට නේ අර පුතයි මේ කවර් එකක් Yes, then truthfulness. But I'm not going to teach you about that because I already covered that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Very nice. Good job. Because I already told told about that during the Eight Noble Path. You bring the book. Okay, you can take that one. Yeah, it's in the back. You been to bring one? Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right. Right. Everyone, please say it 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, during these days, we are talking about the 10 perfections. So we already discussed about so many things during this year. So hope you remember about the 5 enemies of meditation. They are useful they are very useful for the concentration meditation practice. And then we also talked about the 4 friends of meditation. Right? Hope you remember them. Right? Willingness. Then after that, strong mind. Effort, very nice. Final one, yeah, interrogation or inquisitiveness. Also, we learned about the 3 characteristics of life. Hope you remember them too. So, what is the first characteristic of life, Buddhiniaki? Impermanence, Mr. Kevin. That's the third one. Suffering. Second one, the suffering. And third one is no self. And then after that, we learned about the 4 noble truths, right? And then we learned about the 8 noble paths, right? What is the first one, Mrs. Tu? 8 noble path, right? Right understanding. Can you remember? Right, okay. Right understanding. So, Kate, are you familiar with these teachings? Right, okay, that's fine. Later on in the next year, you will learn. Right. Then next one is Harsh. Right concept, very nice. So we learn when you develop right understanding about things experientially and theoretically, then it helps us to develop right concept. Then right concept leads us to practice right speech. Then right, very nice, Mr. Kevin. And then Musiar and Manal, do you remember? Okay, okay, that's fine. So right action. Then after that, Virasha, do you know? Right, okay. Right, right livelihood. Right. Livelihood, no livelihood. You can take so any pronunciation from American, no British English, right? Then after that, um, then right effort, right, right mindfulness, and finally right concentration. Then we started learning about another 10 very important factors that we need to develop within as a meditator. They are called as 10 perfections, right? So we started with dana or generosity. Then after that, shila, morality or being nice, right? Practice of being nice. Then third one, dana, sila, nekkhamma means letting go or renunciation. Yes. Then after that we learned, yes, wisdom. Because next one is so courage, but I didn't teach about the courage since I already taught you about courage 2 times. I taught you about it when I was teaching, when I was explaining about so strong mind, right? Effort in when I was describing the 4 frames of meditation, and then when I was describing the right effort at that time too, I taught you about the rest, right? So courage is the next one. After courage, wisdom. Right? I taught you about wisdom, right? So then next one is, what is it? Kanti means patience, right? That's what we learned. Patience, perfection of patience. And after that, we learned the next. After that, the next one is truthfulness. I already taught you so many things about being truthful. So I'm not. I have to give the same descriptions. So the only difference is you have to practice truthfulness with 2 things. First one is with wise consideration, and second one is so truthfulness. We have to practice truthfulness with wise consideration and compassion towards oneself and the others. Right. So you have to be truthful, but when you practice it, you have to wisely consider, and then you have to practice it out of compassion towards yourself and the others. Right. Then, the rest of the descriptions, since I taught you when I was teaching you about the right speech, I'm not going to go to those details. Then we move to the next one, right? Which is the which is the 8th one, right? Determination. Perfection called determination. This is also a very important perfection that we need to develop, right? And I can say that most of you are practicing, especially the old students. I have seen them practicing this, but I don't say that they have perfected in it, but I can see them practicing, right? I really appreciate that. Okay. So determination. So determination, in the general people sense, determination means so sticking to one word without changing it, right? So if you gave a word, if you determine something, you stick to that. Here, so here when it becomes a perfection, the difference is, so it should involve, we have to involve the previous 2 things that I mentioned: wise consideration and compassion towards oneself and the others. You have to practice determination first with wise consideration and then with compassion towards oneself and the others, right? So in the commentary, I translated the description of the commentary. It goes like this: after wise consideration and compassion towards oneself and others, if someone observe a policy with a strong mind, vowing not to break it, even because of life, right? Even because of life, right? That's the perfection of determination. That's the perfection called determination, right? There are so many people who vow to do things, but they fail to complete their vow since they are since they are lacking the determination, true determination, right? So, for an example, someone is used to say someone is used to say abusive words, right? That person determines. So hereafter, when some kind of a big thing happen, so that person determines, oh, vulgar word is a so bad, so bad way of bad practice. So I should not do it again. So thinking, so that person determines, but since that person doesn't practice the perfection of determination, since that person doesn't have the perfection of determination within, what happens is sometimes they break it, right? When a situation happens, for that person to get angry, that person uses the abusive words, it's like kind of vulgar words, right? To abuse the other people, right? Then sometimes, sometimes, so there are occasions where you decide, okay, I will give maybe $1,000, right? I will give $1,000 for this. But later on, what happens is you, inside your mind, you start to bargain. And finally, what you give is $10, right? So things happen like that. Why? That's because we don't practice, since we don't have the perfection called perfection of determination with it. So to come out of bad habits, right? To stick to the good actions that we are already doing, right? We need the perfection of determination. That's very important. That's a very important practice that we need to develop inside us when we are practicing this noble, non-sectarian, pure Dhamma path. Right? Buddha himself practiced determination. Uh, even before Buddha attained the enlightenment. Right? Um, when when during the night that Buddha became enlightened, when he sat under the Bo tree, he determined, even though uh, my blood dries up, even though my flesh, right, uh, my flesh dries up, right, even though my nerves dry up, so dries up, nerves dry up, and then even though my bones get scattered, right, I won't stand from this place until I attain the enlightenment. With that strong determination, he practiced. And on the following day, he attained the enlightenment. Following the morning, dawn time, right? Dawn time means between 3 to 5. So within that period of time, Buddha attained the enlightenment, right? But we don't have that much determination, but we have to gradually develop it within, right? We have to understand the speed of a car, I mean, the speed of a bicycle is not similar to the speed of a car, right? And the speed of a car uh, cannot be compared with the speed of a plane. Buddha is a plane, and we only have bicycles. So we can't compete with the plane. But it doesn't mean we cannot, at least have a car later on, right? For that, we need to practice, right? We had to gradually practice this determination. So with small determinations, you have to begin, right? So for an example, I already told you, you determine whatever it happens, I don't say bad words. This is a determination that we can make, right? Even though we break it, so sometimes any kind of wrong action that you're already doing, even though you couldn't hold on to it for a long period of time, whenever you couldn't control yourself, then what you have to do is you have to develop the practice called Ayati Sangvara. Ayati Sangvara means, so you confess to yourself, you admit to yourself that what you did, uh, what you did is wrong, and you broke the promise, you broke the determination that you already made. But you have to be happy that you could hold on to it for a particular period of time. Then you had determined, I will prolong this practice more than the time that I could practice up to now. Let's say you could hold on to it for about, so you determine something, so you determine to come out of some kind of wrong action, and then you spend 2 days, and so without breaking it. And after 2 days, you break it, right? Then you determine, okay, this happened, what to do. So now what I should do is, I will prolong, I will maintain this determination. I will stick to this determination for 3 days, for 4 days. Then like that, when you practice like that, let's say you break your determination after after a week. Then what you should do is, you have to admit, and then you have to understand, uh, understand, yes, you did it, and then at the same time you have to be happy that you could maintain it for a week. And then you determine to continue that practice for about 2 weeks. Like that, you can prolong your determination, you can develop your determination. Can you understand? Right. So then that's how you have to practice that. And then uh, how to develop this determination within, right? The first thing that there are several steps. First one is, you have to think what about the consequences, so bad consequences that you have to face if you don't practice determination within. That's the first thing, right? If I don't have this determination within, so these are the consequences that I have to face later on in life. Therefore, so I should, then you have determined, right? I should practice this determination. I should continue this determination for a longer period of time, right? And then after that, you have to develop that determination to a level, even to a level that you don't break it, even because of a loss of any material wealth, right? First stage. So you have to develop that determination to a level. So you stay. So when you reach that stage, you have to stick to the determination, even though you lose materials. That is the first level. And then you have to develop that determination to a level so where you don't lose it, even because of the others, right? Even because of the other people. So you should not let your determination go away, right? For an example, let's say, so there is someone who doesn't steal. Then this person doesn't steal. When that person doesn't steal, that person develops determination, even though that person loses material things, right? Right. Then there are loved ones, sometimes who are in the wrong path. They influence this person. So, please steal. if you don't steal, then we don't keep any relationship with you. We'll break our relationship with you. Then that person stick to that person's policy, even though that person loses the other people, right? Then gradually we have to develop this determination to a level finally. So to a level where you stick to your determination, even though your life goes, right? So that is the utmost level. That is the utmost level of determination, right? To support yourself while developing your determination like this, to support yourself. So you have to think about the people who lost things in life, right? Who lost things in life because they didn't have determination. Right? There are so many examples in your own life, right? So you can think about certain people. So, so for an example, so there are certain people um, who uh, who couldn't stick to their marriage vows, right? Then what happened? They had since they didn't stick to their vow later on, so some kind of a bad consequence, so some kind of a very bad impact happen to that person, right? Something very bad happened to that person. So you can think about it, and then you can develop determination. So this is an example. So like that, you have to think about the people, various kinds of people who lost things, who had to face various kinds of bad consequences uh, because they couldn't maintain their determination. When you think about it, underneath, inside you, you support yourself to maintain the determination, right? And um, then you have to think about, to support yourself, support your determination, you have to think about the good consequences that you will have if you maintain the determination, right? So, if I maintain this determination continuously, these are the benefits that I will experience later on in my life. When you think like that, then what will happen is, so your determination becomes very, very strong, right? Then you have to think about the characters, the people who became successful because of their strong determination, right? Even uh, so uh, so certain people begin with very small steps, but later on in life, so they stick to their determination, so finally they became successful. So there are two kinds of such kind of successful characters that you have to think about. If you to develop materially, you have to think about the general people, right? General people who succeeded in their practice, right? Because of their determination. For an example, um, so Elon Musk is now the wealthiest person in the world, right? And now during this year, I think this year or next year, he's going to become a trillionaire, right? One time trillionaire, but somehow a trillionaire. I don't know whether, okay, let's not go to those stuff, right? At least in the next year, he is going to get 1 trillion, right? So when he began, so he began simply, right? He had a dream to make an electric car, right? So according to my memory, I think he failed in 2007, first attempt. And then he failed in 2011. And both times he had to declare bankruptcy. But he stick to his determination. One day, somehow, I'm going to make this, right? So he learned through his failures, and kept on moving forward with his determination. And finally, he succeeded in 2014, right? And that's how the market was open for him. Now we can see in Bay Area, when you go on the road, out of 5 vehicles, out of 10 vehicles, sometimes you'll see uh, so 5 or 4 vehicles are Teslas, right? And so, like that, he became successful. Like that, there are so many people who became materially successful. When you think about that, you gain, so your determination becomes strong, and you develop that fire inside to keep it going, right? And spiritual practice is the same, right? And there are so many great examples that we can think of. For an example, Bante Sone, who lived during the Buddhist time. Bante Sone, um, he was a Bante with a very strong determination. Once he belonged to a business family, then later on he figured out that his own brother had an affair, was having an affair with his own wife. So he gave everything that he had to his brother and the wife, and left the house to become a monk. And at that time, when he left to become monk, um, uh, the wife still was suspicious about Bante Soni. He said, then what she did, she thought of doing some kind of a very gruesome thing, right? She gave money to several gangsters, and then she ordered them to go and kill Bante Soni. And then they went to the place where Bante Sona was, where he was meditating as a monk. And without hiding anything, they said, "We came here to kill you. And so we got a contract to kill you." Right? And then Bante Sona requested them to give him some more time. Then they said, "No, we cannot give you time." So the time that they read there was the evening time. So then they said, if you give some more time, then it is the night time. At night, somehow you might run away. So we can't let you go. Then at that time, Bantisone, he saw a rock, so a small rock, so closer to him. He took that rock and hit his both knees and said, "Now do you believe me?" Then they didn't have anything to say. With bleeding knees, he practiced throughout the night. On the following day, he became an enlightened monk. The the gangsters were witnessing the whole incident. On the following day, they understood. So after spending so many hours with him, they understood how great this Bantesona is. Finally, they paid respect to Bantesona and requested him to ordain them as his students. Bantesona ordained them as his students, taught them Dharma, taught them the meditation practice that you're already practicing, and finally, all of them changed and became enlightened monks. Finally, Bantesona went along with them to see the Buddha. Right. So like that, determination can do miracles, right? So in the general, so have you heard of the fight of the century? Are you a fan of boxing? I know for sure ladies are not. But right, yeah, oh, right. Have you heard of Joe Frazier? Joe Frazier? Oh, right, okay. In 1970s, there was a fight called the Fight of the Century. At that time, Muhammad Ali, who is considered as the greatest boxer in the world, ever to be in the world, so he was at his peak. And everybody who challenged him, so he knocked all of them out. And among them, one challenger that he had to face was Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier is not so big like Muhammad Ali, but he is so determined. So then during the match, Joe Frazier, while facing all kinds of big punches that Muhammad Ali gave, he kept on going. So his style is also different. So he moves his head here and there when he fights with his opponent. So and finally, so after I think 12 or 13 rounds, according to my memory, so he knocked Muhammad Ali out, right? So anything is possible if you determine, right? So that's about the general determination in general life. And so perfection in determination is very important, especially in the spiritual practice. So we have to develop it little by little, right? So little by little. So even though we cannot develop it just like the Buddha, but still we can develop it, keeping the Buddha as an inspiration, right? Keeping all those great Bhantes and nuns and lay people as inspirations, right? If they were also human beings. They also had the same hands and legs and heads that we do have, right? Why we cannot do it? But we need the determination within to do it, right? There are many benefits that you are bound that we are bound to gain when we practice determination. If you want, please write them down. So then after that, we are going to conclude. So these are the benefits. First one is when you develop determination, you are bound to achieve whatever the goals that you want to achieve in life, right? It may take time. Different people have their own speeds, but somehow, gradually, we are bound to reach our goal if we have the determination, right? Then, the second one is it increases resilience. You might fall in life. You might lose things in life, but even though you lose them, you stay resilient. Whatever it happens, I will keep going, right? I will keep going. And finally, so you will reach whatever you want to reach in life. So somehow you develop that resilience within. It increases when you have determination. And then it boosts your confidence. When you have determination, so that boosts your confidence. Can you understand? So if you fix your mind in anything, so you become confident. I'm an achiever, and I'm going to achieve this. I have that confidence in me, right? So it happens when you have the perfection of determination. Okay. And the next one is it enhances problem solving skills. It enhances problem solving skills. The person who has the perfection of determination, that person is not bound to run away when problems arise. That person stands and stands up in front of the problem, and instead of running away, that person tries to, with the calmness within, that person tries to find the best option, best solution that person has to take to come out of this problem. So by that way, that person develops the problem solving skill, right? Next one is better time management. Better time management. When you don't have the determination, you postpone. You do one thing and then you take a lot of time thinking, oh, I have a lot of time. No, by rush, no use of so rushing. Let me take more time. But the person who has the perfection of determination, that person understands that the time is time. So that person stay disciplined, right? And that person makes the best use of the time that person has, and so keeps on going in life and manages the time perfectly, right? So when people have goals, but they also have the laziness, then such kind of people, they are not going to achieve their goals on time because no time management, right? And inspiration to the others. Not only you develop the perfection, determination within, you become an inspiration to the others. Certain people say, "Oh, do this and do that," while you are you don't do anything, but so you tell the other people, "Oh, do this and do that." But for the person who has determination, that person doesn't have to talk with words. Seeing that person's actions, seeing the actions, witnessing the actions that person do in life with the perfection of determination, people learn. The kids learn, the family members learn, the friends learn, and everybody learn, right? And then personal growth. Next one. You are bound to achieve personal growth if you have the perfection of determination. And finally, success in relationships too, right? Since someone has all these kinds of qualities within, so when you go to the outside world, when you work with your family members, when you work with your colleagues and others, so you become very successful, right? Right. Then, so these are things that you're bound to gain. Finally, I want to finish with one quote from the Buddha. Buddha says, Uttanavato satimato suchikammasya nisamma karino sanya tassacha dhamma jivino appamattassa yasobi vaddati. Uttanavato, with with an risen mind, right? With a risen mind, uttanavato, satimato, with mindfulness. Suchikammas nisammakarin, understanding what is the appropriate thing to be done, doing that appropriate thing. So nisammakan, sanyatassacha, dhamma jivino. If someone lives the life calmly, right, according to dharma, right, according to dharma, appamattas, without delaying things, right, living the life diligently. So that person's that that person's prosperity. So there are two prosperities: inner prosperity and outer prosperity. Both those prosperities develop day by day, right? So therefore, so let's develop the perfection of determination within. Work hard diligently. Now, everyone, please sing together. All of us gathered here, and it's a Black Friday, and so many people are. So most of the days we can see this as a full house, but I thought there would be 2, 3, 4 people because most of the people love to shop on Black Friday. Maybe not the other days, but on Black Friday, it's a special day for the shoppers who love shopping. So I thought there would be maybe 2, 3, 4 people, but I can see there are around so many people here. So I really appreciate your presence, and it's a cold day and Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, it's all those things. I really appreciate your presence here.
You have determination.
Yes, you have the determination. That's very nice, very nice. So that's the nature of wise people, right? So I don't say that the others are not wise, but they certain people they love shopping. So somehow, then today I really appreciate your presence here. So please practice. That's the most important thing. So practice is the thing which makes you perfect later on, right? So little by little, let's grow in this noble practice. It's a very non-sectarian one. So you may be from any ethnic or religious or any background, but still this works for you, right? Loving kindness is not Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, atheist, or agnostic or any. It's universal. Buddha teaches us to practice that universal thing. Let's develop it ardently, and let's develop it inside with first, and then let's share it with the other beings later on. And by that way, let's live a life with peace and happiness. Okay. Now, everyone, please think, may all your troubles be away by the power of all this positive energy. May all the good things happen in your life. May you be able to live your life with good health, happiness, prosperity, and peace. Practicing this noble Dhamma path, finally, may all of us attain that real peace, that stage of real peace and real happiness, Nibbana. Everyone, please join your palms together and concentrate. Abhivadana silise nichang vata pachaino chattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvang sukang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vache ato nibbana sampatti iminati samijjitu. May you all be well. May you all be happy. May you all be very, very peaceful and blessed. Sukhiyotu. Good night. Take rest. And see you again in the next week. Sukhiyotu. Sadhu. 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 Miss Kathy, please wait, okay? Yes, I will give you. Please wait. Adil and Shainas, good night. Right, wait for a moment. Mr. Elliot, good night.
Good night, Bante.
Adil
Thank
and
you so
Shainas,
much.
Good night. Good
good
night,
night,
Bante.
Mr. Elliot.
Good night, Bante. Thank you so much.
Right. Rahul and Pragati, good night.
Good night, Bante. Thank you so much.
Right. Good night, Nalini.